Back in December at the Game Awards, Sega revealed their new campaign of New Era, New Energy, and we got a list of well-known franchises that have new games currently being worked on. Since then, we haven't heard much from Sega. However, we do have a bit more information coming from Sega directly about one particular game and just how large the scope of that game is. What game is it and what can we expect? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this information comes to us from an article from Japan Times titled Sega Developers Say New Sapporo Studios Lead to Better Lives. And as you may be able to tell by the title, this story was in the Digital Life section. So it's mostly about how Sega opened a new studio in Sapporo back in 2021 and how that helped them recruit more employees compared to the more saturated market in Tokyo. But in the interview, there was a nugget of information about one of Sega's upcoming revived IPs. They have an interview here with Takaya Segawa, the studio's president and Sega Senior Executive Officer. And in the interview, when talking about the new studio, he had this to say: "We're responsible for titles such as Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis and Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage. In cooperation with the bases in Tokyo and overseas, we are also participating in the development of AAA titles, including Crazy Taxi." So in this interview, Segawa calls the next Crazy Taxi game a AAA game. And this does match some of the earlier reports that we had that Crazy Taxi could be one of Sega's super games. Now these super games have been talked about I think for a couple of years now, and we've already had one of them get cancelled, which was Hyenas. But apparently Sega classifies something as a super game if it will target to reach $1 billion in lifetime revenue. Now I find it a bit interesting that the Sapporo Studio is currently working on Phantasy Star Online New Genesis, or we'll just call it NGS for short. And that's a game I pretty much play every day, even if it's only maybe for 15 to 20 minutes. So it's something I know a little bit about. So it made me wonder how a Crazy Taxi live service game would look. Now, there is no guarantee that this AAA Crazy Taxi game would be live service, but if it is, and it is being worked on by one of the teams that works on NGS, I thought I'd just give a little bit of a thought here on how I thought the game might work. Now, looking back at the short snippet of the game in that New Era, New Energy trailer, you see what looks like pretty much a racing game. So it makes me think that the game wouldn't be completely co-op like you have with NGS. But who knows, they may have different missions you can do that might be co-op, and maybe some of them might be competitive. But in the video you can see taxis racing with someone in the back like they're trying to get to a destination, but then you also have a police car racing after them. So that may just be like a choice you can make of what type of car you want to have. But it could also be maybe some type of one versus many type of player versus player where you're the police car and you're trying to chase down the other taxis. But if it is a live service game, I would expect maybe some type of experience system along with some in-game currency and some rare items to try to get. And these items could range from cosmetics to things that maybe boost your stats, like maybe you get some faster add-ons for your engine, or maybe you get some new tires for better handling. And I would also expect them to have some type of premium set, like a battle pass type thing where you could pay monthly to get some perks. And I had to think about this for a second. If this was a PvP game, then adding some type of booster for EXP or maybe the in-game currency might seem like pay to win. But giving you some more cosmetics seems an obvious option. And if they take a page out of NGS, you might get things like log-on bonuses, some expanded storage, or maybe being able to accept more tasks than you normally can. So like on NGS, you can only accept 20 tasks at one time to complete if you're free to play, but with Premium, you can accept 40, so it helps you get through them a lot quicker without having to go back and accept more tasks. And NGS also has a player shop where you can sell some of the items that you've collected that you don't need, so that might be another perk that you could add. And you could also have things like scratch tickets, or let's use the dirty word, loot boxes, because that's sort of what they pretty much are, where basically you can either pay and scratch off to get some free cosmetic items, or there's some that you can buy with in-game currency. And I would expect if they're touting this as a AAA game, I would expect there would be some type of storyline with some periodic updates and some expansion of the world that you're racing in. And then I have to wonder if the game would be free to play like NGS is. Sega has not had a lot of success with free to play live service games outside of Japan. NGS does okay, but nowhere near as well as it does in Japan. So much so that they have separate Japanese servers from the global ones. But I think if Sega's trying to reach that $1 billion in sales with this game, they'd probably have to make it free to play and just have all these microtransactions in it. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Crazy Taxi is going to be a live service AAA game? Do you think it would be free to play? Do you think you may have to purchase an initial game to play? And what other features would you like to see in a AAA Crazy Taxi game? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. It really does help the channel out quite a bit. I want to thank you for watching and be good.